As expected with today's lesson, since there's a storm brewing, or if I haven't caught up to the news yet, I believe na naglandfall na siya sa Luzon. That's why we expected talaga that we will be having more participants sa Zoom. Ma'am, pwede dito ka sa side na to para sa isang side na ako nakatingin. Compared to the ones joining us here in the branch. However, gusto ko lang po sanang magbigay ng apology sa mga nasa Zoom kasi hindi ko po mapapromise na stable po ang ating internet connection. Actually, we have two internet connection na corporate, hindi po personal. So we are locked in a plan with 200 Mbps. But since bumabagyo, malakas ang ulan, malakas ang hangin, maraming nasa bahay, gumagamit na internet, mataas ang ping. So hindi ko po mapapangako na until the end of the lesson, stable po ang ating internet connection. So just heads up, I would like to explain to new enrollees that we have various channels where you can acquire the information through classes. We have live lessons here. We have Zoom meetings. And if those two options just won't work, recorded po ito. So you can access those on my YouTube channel. So if you are already subscribed, all you have to do is to wait for the public premiere, which you will be notified when the video is already available. But I also post the link of the video, the handout. So basically everything that you are seeing on screen is a PDF. It's an electronically distributed file, which I will be also giving to you after the class is over. So there will be a lot of files that I will be sending over. I want you to check them out. You will be understanding the relevance of having those files on you. So quite recently, I received some questions, which many of my past candidates also asked na, Sir, can I get all the files in bulk? So I made a reply to those students na we actually don't give those in bulk because it is always better to provide the instruction to you verbally in a classroom setting like this than to just hand it over and do your thing. Sometimes, we were so excited, halimbawa, bumili ka ng electric fan, and then yung manual, mas maganda may nagtuturo sa'yo pa din. So that's the idea why we don't give them in bulk. For one. Number two, we are trying to protect our intellectual property rights kasi kami po ang gumawa na to. So since binayaran nyo to, we are giving you every cent of your money's worth. So lahat, last centavo ng inyong binayad na tuition ay gusto nating masulit. So we have lectures, we have coaching sessions, which we did yesterday. We have recorded meetings as well, if you can't come. So maximize, all right? So content speaking will be our topic today. What is the difference between content lectures compared to skills enhancement lectures? Well, before I jump into the difference, let me jump straight to the similarities. Those lessons, when you see the title content or skills enhancement, they aim to provide you a major understanding of the lecture. So basically, if we're trying to aim for what we call major, sir, dito ka na lang para isa na lang titing ng ano. We're trying to aim for a major, that means we're trying to focus on the actual examination proceedings. So what they're expected to encounter, to experience in the actual test is basically what we're trying to cover here. That is for your skills enhancement and content as well. But there will be some in-depth analysis that we may not be able to include in the skills enhancement because number one, it will be very confusing. So we try to separate it into content. So if you're going to ask me a question, what is a content? Well, it's the flavor. No? It's very difficult to explain in layman's term because if you don't have mutual understanding, it will be very hard for me to explain it down to the little piece, down to the bit. But if I want to use an analogy so that we can understand it better, I always use the concept of food. Like food, we have ingredients. We have methods to cook the food. Like a simple burger, you can cook it by frying everything and putting them into layers, right? And if those layers are messed up, it's not your traditional burger. Is that correct? Like if you put them separately in a plate, it becomes a salad. Like minus the patty, it becomes a salad. We have your dressing, you have your lettuce, you have your tomato, you have your mustard, walang patty. Basically, this is a fucking salad. Diba? That is what we call the ingredients. So you put those ingredients, you follow the method, you can come up with this food. So the examiner is your customer. The examiner will ask you, hey, cook this burger for me. Like if I'm the examiner, I'm very meticulous with my burger. I don't want my burger to have onions. I don't want my burger to have pickles. That's why pag pumunta ako sa McDo, sabi ng misis ko, alam mo, sayang yung pera sa'yo. No? Kasi wala na nakalagay sa burger mo, tinapay na lang at saka palaman. Wala nang mga pickles, wala nang mga... Kasi ayoko nang ganun. Eh, yun yung gusto ko, yun yung trip ko. No? That is content. That's what I want, and that's what I want you to deliver. Imagine if I ask you to cook my burger for me, and I don't want it to have an onion. I instructed you specifically, huwag mo lagyan ng sibuyas yan, ha? Nilagyan mo, pagkagat ko, putang ina sibuyas. Bad trip na ako, no? Ano gagawin ko? Magreklamo ako, di ba? In the examiner's perspective, hindi sila magreklamo. Ano gagawin nila sa'yo? Babagsakan nila. Simple, di ba? So, hindi natin ipinapaalam, hindi natin idinidiscuss yun, hindi natin yun pinapaunawa sa skills enhancement lecture kasi hindi naman yun part ng methodology ng cooking. Kasi kapag tinuro natin si skills enhancement, ganito po ang gagawin natin. Ihanda ang mga ingredients. Iprito ng 5 minutes. Balik natin hanggang mag-golden brown. Ganon. Nagigets yung point? It's instruction-based methodology versus the taste. How would it taste based on my liking? I am the examiner. I want it to taste like this. Hindi masarap eh. Kapag hindi ako nasarapan, hindi kita bibigyan ng magandang score. That is how simple content works. That's the main idea behind it. Ultimately, we have to understand that examiners are people. And people have different taste buds. Iba-iba tayo ng panlasa. So what works for Pedro might not work for Juan. Diba? What works for you could not work for me. Especially, may examiners na metikuloso. Diba? Baka hindi mo ma-satisfy yung kanilang taste buds. So sir, what is content? This will ensure that regardless of who your examiner may be, because it's going to be random, we have 33 examiners, active examiners in British Council. If you're planning to take the exams in British Council, you have 33 examiners. Hindi natin alam sino sa 33 na, iba-ibang 33 ugali yun. Kahit magkakamag-anak pa kayo, iba-iba ugali nyo. Diba? Nag-reunion kayo, nag-aaway-aaway nga kayo. Diba? So you have your concept of what content speaking is. How can we deliver our answers in such a manner that regardless of who the examiner is, it will be worthy of getting a high band score. It will be sufficient enough to guarantee passing. And when it comes to passing, people will be confused about what's a passing grade or what is not. Because it will ultimately boil down to what do you want to get? Like, I want to get 5.5, I want to get 6, I want to get 7, I want to get higher than that. They have different levels of ability. Kaya nga kapag restaurant eating, anong metrics natin para palatandaan na ang restaurant ay talagang mamahalin at hindi ka basta-basta makakapasok kahit marami kang pera? Ano? Yung Michelin star, di ba? Alright? Michelin star. So that is a concept of how people can understand that this restaurant, even if I have 1 million pesos right now, I want to get in. If I'm not worthy to get in, I'm not going to get in. You have to book it ahead. You have to know people inside. Di ba? So yung mga chef na yon na nasa Michelin star restaurant, mga top-notch chef yon. Okay? Sige, alisin na natin yung Michelin star. Dito sa Nueva Ecija, kapag tinanong ng friend mo, saang restaurant ka pupunta? Saan restaurant kayo pupunta kung gusto nyong kumain ng masarap? Sige, bigyan niyo ako. Yaki Mix? Okay. Ano pa? Saan? Saang restaurant? Nagigets niyo yung point? It's all about the level that you want to achieve. Gusto mo bang maging fry cook lang? O sakto lang na makakasurvive sa bahay na kaya mo magluto? O gusto mo maging isang Michelin star restaurant chef? Yun yung makakakuha ng 9. So, if you can understand the way how I speak, the way Ma'am Shannon speaks, are different from you guys, it's because we mastered this. Before we get into this business, before we get into this career, we made sure na nag-train kami, nag-take kami ng exam, at sinigurado namin na yung score namin ay mas magaling sa pwede mong makuha na score. So the credibility should be there. Kaya nga sabi namin sa mga ibang lecturers ng ibang review centers, again, ito na naman ang mga review center wars, labasan tayo ng resulta. Kung anong score mo, laban namin sa score namin. Diba? So, if you are someone who's looking for a band 5, yun yung kaya magluto ng pancit canton, prito ng itlog, prito ng hotdog. Yan. Gusto mo ng band 6, yun yung mga kaya magluto ng ano bang masarap pa? Adobo? Ba? Yung konting ingredients lang, hayaan mo lang maluto. Sinanto lang bangus na putang ina, napakasarap. Lalo ngayon umulan-ulan. 7, probably kare-kare. Yan. 8, medyo ano na tayo. Pupunta na tayo sa mga medyo mahihirap na dishes. No? Aldareta. 9, ayan na yung ano yung mga Italian dishes. Makakaiba yung sounds. So you will understand after the lesson is over what skills you have to achieve, what levels of expertise you have to encounter for you to get to this certain level. Because honestly, if you talk about speaking, nasa first slide pa lang tayo. If you talk about speaking is actually easy. As an exam, speaking is relatively easier compared to the other subtests. That's what I can guarantee. Listening is the easiest test. Like, if you are a test taker who just did his or her mock yesterday, we did mock exams yesterday, and dami nating new enrollees, chances are you may have gotten yourselves somewhere around the score of 6. It could be lower than 6, it could be higher than 6, but that is going to be a guarantee. Because that's normal, that's regular. Did you know that in the Philippines, we have a national band score of 7 for listening? So regardless of whether you're planning to get a 7 or not, you can get 7 without much effort in listening. Now, the other exams, you're on a limbo. Because in speaking, although it's the second easiest test, there will be occasions which examiners would really be in the mood to test you. Talagang may ibang instances parang ganado sila na magtanong ng mahihirap na tanong. Like, one of my students in Canada was asked about questions about the pyramids of Egypt. Like, I didn't expect that to be a question. Diba? And we both didn't expect that. But I trained my candidates in a manner in which whatever questions come out, you can answer it. Kahit ano pa yan. I prepared her for it. I will prepare you for it. That's going to be the expectation. Mahirap ang tanong na lumabas. Ang tanong, kakayanin mo ba? That's how we can develop our sense of confidence. How we can develop our sense of enthusiasm on the topic. Like, What is confidence? Confidence is basically having this experience onto something. Like, if you're a nurse, you tried injecting a medication the first time when you were a student, you were shaking. Nanginginig yung kamay mo, hindi mo kaya. Ngayon, kahit magsaksa ka ng vaccination drive, 50 mga bata, basic na lang sa iyo because of the expertise you had. First time mo nagda-drive, hindi ka naman agad nag-100. Di ba? Pa-20-20 muna, pa-bomba-bomba ka lang muna. Kasi nga, nag-aaral ka pa lang. So, in the same scenario, that's what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build you a foundation, which this is a simulation, close to the reality, so that when you get to the real thing, bata ka na. Kabisado mo na. Alam mo na yung pasikot-sikot. Hindi ka kakabahan. Kasi you develop experience, you develop your confidence already. Okay? Alright. So that is what content is going to be. Content in nature is, in analogy of food, it's about flavor. How will the taste of your creation be satisfactory to the examiner? That's what we're trying to aim. Sir, bakit puro examiner ang topic dito? Well, sila mag-ibigay ng score sa'yo. Sip-sip muna tayo dito. No? So, kung ganyan ka, alam mo, yung bruha ka, suplada ka, pag nag-exam, wag muna. Tsaka muna, santabi mo muna yung sama ng ugali mo. No? Pinakamabait ka dito. Pinakamagiliw, pinakamagandang tono sa exam. Kasi yung kausap mo, magbibigay sa'yo ng score. Okay? So, common misconceptions. Speaking is difficult. As I've mentioned, this is the second easiest exam. Listening is the easiest, followed by speaking. Reading comes next. Writing is the most difficult. So now people will be asking me, sir, how come that you consider speaking as easy while a lot of people are not getting 7 in the speaking test? Bakit ko daw minamaliit masyado yung speaking kung ang dami daw hindi nakakashare ito? Well, to be honest, if you look at the nature of speaking test itself, if you list down all the possible questions, because the past examination questions would be repeated in your turn. So sa turn mo, yun pa rin yung tanong na natanong sa kanila. What is your name? What is your favorite food? Do you live in a house or in an apartment? Are you working or studying? But how many hours in a day do you spend time watching television? Or if you watch TV at all in a day? If you can understand the nature of questions, let me ask you this. Are they difficult? Mahirap ba ang tanong? Kasi kung mahirap ang tanong, tinanong kita, what is within the scope of RA 9174 Section 3? Sige. Mahirap yun. Di ba? Talking about law. Tapos, tinanong kita about medicine. What is the role of glucose what is the role of glucagon synthesis in glucose function in the body? Mahirap yun. Nagigets yung point? So, yung tanong po sa speaking test, lahat ng tanong na yun ay tungkol lang sa iyo. At wala na pong iba na makasasagot ng tanong na yun kung di ikaw. Anong paborito mong kulay? Hayop ka. Ikaw ang makakasagot niya. Hindi ako. Wala akong pakialam kung pink yan. Basta sabihin mo ang sagot. That's the basic thing about speaking test. There will be questions. You just have to answer them. Now, it gets difficult. It gets complicated from this point. Because some people will tell me, sir, how long should my answer be an answer? Di ba? Gaano kahaba? Meron ba tayong certain parameter na sinusunod pagdating po sa pagsagot ng sagot? Dapat po ba hindi ako titigil? Well, to answer that simply, sa maikling sagot, yes, hindi ka lulubay, kakasalita. Until the examiner asks another question, you don't stop. That's the challenge. When does simple becomes blurred and it becomes complicated in the process? How can you answer a very long and extensive response without complicating things. Diba? So kung di mo kaya yun, it makes this thing complicated. It is scary. Actually, it is. You know, what makes people scared is if you don't know about that at all. Like, sir, di ba, nasa field ka ng armed forces. Di ba? The most problematic thing about a person facing something is not knowing about the enemy, who the enemy is. Ano ba yung kalaban namin? May mga tentacles ba to? Di ba? Ano ba? Halimaw ba to? Tao ba? Ano bang mga armas sila? Ilang kaya sila? It's being in the dark. It's not knowing what to expect. It becomes blurred. Nakakatakot yun eh. Ano kaya? Sino kaya? Bigla na kaya silang lulusot. Kaya kapag nanonood ka ng horror film, nakakagulat na lang sila bigla pag lumusot kasi you're not expecting anything. And when it appears, di ba, it exceeds even your worst expectations. So how can we avoid being scared? Subject yourself to the experience. Kailangan maranasan mo siya. Maranasan mong mag-speaking na parang totoo. Kaya magpa-interview ka, magpa-coach ka pag may time. Examiners are intimidating. Totoo po yan. May mga examiners po na nang-i-intimidate talaga. Lalo na po yung mga Pinoy. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi masama ugali ng mga Pinoy. Diba? Filipinos are bad people. They're evil. Totoo yun. Diba? Hindi naman tayo mabait eh. O bakit nang-i-intimidate yung mga Pinoy na examiner? Kasi inggit sila. Dahil tayo, may chance makapag-ibang bansa. Pag pumasa tayo, kaya babagsak nila tayo pa. Lahat tayo dito maghihira. Mararanasan nating lahat ang pamumuno ni Jinggoy Estrada. Diba? Nangaalis ang bansa, lahat kayo bagsak. Inggit sila eh. Diba? Kaya sabi ko sa mga students, pag natapat ka sa examiner na foreigner, dagdagan mo na ng 0.5 yung score na usual na binibigay ko sa'yo dito. Mag-add ka na ng 0.5. Lalo kung galing sa Arab country. Kasi basically, hindi ko minamaliit ang Arab countries, but English as a second or third language isn't one of their strengths. If you compare it to someone in the Philippines, iba ang galing ng Pinoy pagdating sa English. Mga scammer nga, gagaling ng English eh. Scammer na yan, di ba? So examiners would try and intimidate you. Just let them try. Since we are equipped with skills and knowledge, abilities to persevere, kaya-kaya pa rin ito. It is impossible to get a 7 in this category. I kept on telling this story about one of my students back in 2021. His name was Francis, no? Na nagdalawang isip akong turuan siya kasi nga sa lahat ng naging estudyante ko, more than 7,000 of them, 7,000 na po naging estudyante natin, both here and abroad. Francis ang pangalan niya. Nag-cheat yung ex ko nun, Francis yung pangalan, nahuli ko sa messenger. Diba? So talaga nagdalawang isip ako na turuan siya kasi nga, syempre heartbroken ako that time. Sabi niya, sir, after 20 attempts, 20 times siya nag-take ng exam before he was able to get a 7. So I'm not here trying to tell you na you need to undergo the same number of attempts as he did. All I'm trying to say is that if you do all the right things, the wrong things that he did before, if you're going to avoid them, you can get a 7, even in your first try. If this isn't your first time taking the test, I want this to be your last time taking the test. Go.
Sir, may bayad ng well?
Oo naman. O kaya nga before, we computed how much money he was able to spend 20 times. So sabihin na natin, nung time namin kasi nag-take ako na exam, nasa 9.3 to 9.7 pesos ang isa. Siguro umabot ang pinakamurang examination fee ng halagang 7,000, ngayon nasa 14 na. So sabihin na natin, on average, he spent 9,000 pesos per exam. 9 times 20, that's 180,000 pesos. Plus, yung mental torture every single time na nakaka-receive siya ng 6.5, parang hindi ka enough. Diba? And it was his dream to go to the US. And for you to work as a nurse in the US, for US visa screen, you need to get a band 7 in the IELTS. So, it's impossible? No, it is possible to get a 7 in this category. I just don't want you wasting rather your time and effort doing the wrong things. Si Francis, marami siyang maling ginagawa kaya siya hindi nakakakuha ng 7. I corrected that. We were able to probe what was wrong and he was able to succeed afterwards. So, hindi lang 7 nakuha niya, 7.5 pa. O, di ba? Yes?
Ano yung mali na ginagawa ko?
Actually, nung time na nag-uusap kami, especially during coaching, kasi nga sabi ko, before I accepted his to tell the story, na medyo mahabang storya kasi to. I used to work at 9.0 Niner, another branch of Niner, as Niner Bootcamp. Nagtuturo kami online. Nagko-coach kami ng mga nurses sa Saudi, nagtuturo kami ng mga nurses sa Qatar, sa basically Middle Eastern countries. May naturuan na rin ako sa Japan, may naturuan ako sa China, may naturuan ako sa Hong Kong, Brazilian, Argentinian, lahat. Pinakang nahirapan akong turuan because of really language barrier was Russian. Diba? Si Iman, pangalan niya. So, I used to work online. So, mangyayari, pasok ako dito ng 9, matatapos ang lecture ng 2, biyahe ko, traffic sa Gapan, mga 4 pa ako makakarating, set up ako ng equipment, alas 5 hanggang alas 9 hanggang alas 10, habang sumasyat ako ng Emperador, lasing na ako ng alas 10, tapos na ako mag-coach, tulog na, the following day. Ganun kami noon. Sabi ni Francis, "Sir, can I be your coach? Personal coach." Sabi ko, "Yoko." Bakit? Unang-una, ang tigas ang ulo niya. Matanda na kasi siya, ang matatanda, matigas ang ulo. Diba? Yung mga nanay, totoo, mga nanay natin, sabi natin, "Ma, wag mo nang inumin yan. Huwag ka nang inom ng coke. Utang na naman, ma eh." Diba? Tataasan na may sugar mo, magiging diabetic ka. Sino man mong problema? Kami, wala ka maipon. Oh. Sino papagamot sa'yo? Tapos iinom ka ng mga losartan. Kain ka ng chicharong bulaklak. Sino matitigas ang ulo? Matatanda, di ba? Oh, binawal na ng doktor, binawal na ng anak, hindi sumusunod. So, matanda siya. Nasa 40s na siya noon eh. 48, 49. That time. Yung pinakamatanda natin, by the way, share ko lang. Pinakamatanda kong estudyante na napadala natin sa Amerika, 55. So, kung meron po kayong dream, kung nurse ka at nasa 40-50 ka na, yun nga, 55 eh. Diba? So, tuloy ko na yung kwento. Hindi ko tinanggap, umpisa. Kasi unang-una nga, ang tigas ang ulo niya, marami siyang gustong ipilit, gusto niya siya masunod. So ako naman, bilang coach, meron kami sinusunod na schedule, oo na lang ako ng oo. Okay, so gawin mo yan eh. Ikaw may gusto niyan eh. Dito rin po sa branch natin, pag sinabi ko ganito ka sasagot, ganito mo i-arrange ang paragraph sa writing, hindi mo siya sinunod, bahala ka. Ikaw bahala. Testingin mo, tumesting ka lang sa'yo. At magkakaalaman tayo, magkakasubukan tayo sa huli kung ano makukuha mong score dyan. Pagtatawanan na lang kita sa huli. Kasi nga, malaya tayo, sundin ang gusto nating gawin eh. Lagi ko sinasabi yan. Nandito ako para magturo. Kung susundin nyo, thank you. Kung hindi, ala ka sa buhay mo. Tingnan natin. Diba? So, ginawa niya. Pang 19 niya na exam. Hindi siya pumasa. Kasi, pagod na ako eh. 30 minutes, 1 hour in a day para sa kanya. Bayad naman ako. Sige, gawin mo yung gusto mong gawin. Basta ako, tuturo ko yung tama. Hindi ko susundin kung ano yung gusto mong ipili. No? So, sabi niya, nakiusap siya. That time, January, nalaman ko nga na nag-cheat yung ex ko, nakita ko, putang ina, Francis yung pangalan. Sa 7,000 ko naging estudyante, wala akong naging estudyante Francis, kapangalan pa niya. Sabi niya, "Sir, baka pwedeng gawin kitang personal coach. Kung kabayad ako, kahit nga bayaran mo ko ng kalahating milyon, kung di ka susunod sa sasabihin ko, di kita tuturuan. Eh." Diba? I don't care about money that time. No? What I care about is being able to help people. Nung inaccept ko yung term niya, hindi ako tumanggap ng bayad. Sabi ko, "Francis, mag-usap tayo ah. May pipilit mo yung mali mo at di mo sundin yung sinabi ko, lubayan na natin to." Matigas ako eh. Kung matigas siya, matigas ako. Ano yung mga mali niya, sabi ni Sir. Haba ng kwento, no? Bago masagot yung tanong ni Sir, no? Akala niya, ang mga mistakes niya, grammar, masyado siyang preoccupied, masyado siyang self-aware about grammar to the point na wala namang issue. Akala niya meron. Natapos yung coaching session, i-deliberate na kung ano yung naging performance. Sabi niya, sir, ang dami kong naging mali sa grammar. Ano ba? Wala pa nga ako sinasabi marunong ka pa sa akin. Diba? Let me tell you this one thing. Examiners don't care about grammar. They don't care about grammar. Why? Grammar is not the focal point of the speaking test. But if you put it in the writing subtest, that's a different story. Everything in writing is about grammar. Like, you missed a comma, you didn't put an apostrophe, walang S, sobra ng S. That's a mistake. Because there's a hard evidence. Again, evidence siya, kita eh. Kita ba? Oo. Sa speaking, kita ba? Hindi. They may forget it. My mother's very kind and he's very caring to us. Nahuli niyo kayo mali? Ano? Ha?
Mothers.
My mother is very kind. My mother is very kind. Okay lang. Alam mo dito. Nahuli niyo mali? Sa Zoom, nahuli niyo mali? Nahuli niyo? Zoom? Anong mali? Limay? With my sentence. What was wrong? Uy, dumami tayo sa Zoom, ha? Ano yung mali? Halimay. So basically, the mothers is hindi. Yung pronunciation ko doon, my mothers. My mother is very kind. Napagdugtong yung mother at saka is. And that's not the mistake. My mother is very kind. And he is very caring. He. Nahuli nyo ba? Nahuli nyo? Hindi. Diba? Tatlo kayo dyan, 8 yung nandito, 11 katao, hindi nyo yung nahuli. Sa tingin nyo, mahuhuli yun ng examiner? Hindi rin. Hindi rin. Ngayon, eto yung problema. Ikaw ang nagpapahuli sa sarili mo. My mother is very kind. And he, oops! Sorry, they, utang na, nagkamali ka pa, 2 times na mali. Instead of correcting yourself, you made the mistake of correcting it with the wrong thing. That makes it even worse. You made the situation way, way worse. Tapos, dahil nahuli mo yung sarili mo nagkamali, every single thing na magsasalita ka, lahat iniisip mo, puro ka na mali. Nagiging paranoid ka na throughout the exam. So wala nang smoothness, wala nang proper enunciation, nasa-sacrifice na yung fluency. That's a problem that many people encounter. So, what do I suggest? What do I recommend? Do not be too preoccupied with grammar. I'm telling you this, madami kang magiging pagkakamali sa grammar. Let them be. Let them be errors. Do not correct yourself unless you know how to. Because examiners may not even get it. Hindi nga nila alam na nagkamali ka eh. Ikaw ang nagpapahuli sa sarili mo. The pronunciation of pick versus picked. So we went to Baguio City, then we went to La Union to picking some purmalina. Some grapes. Let those mistakes later, tsaka mo siya palitan pag may turn ka na. For example, my mother is a very kind person. He is very caring woman to us, her children. She is very gracious when it comes to asking, giving help to our relatives. She is just a superwoman. So may nabinggit akong he, nakalimutan niya na yon because puro she na siya after. Wala nang violation. Yun.
Kasi hindi ko recorded yun.
Ano na naman? Hindi ko naiintindihan. Mga singit mo ang lalabo, boy.
Hindi sir, yung sa speaking ko, hindi ko ba yung CCTV ko lang hindi ko recorded.
Recorded. Alright. So yung speaking test po natin will be the same for both modules, academic and general training. There will be no difference whatsoever. This will last for about 11 to 14 minutes. So for academic basic, may nagtanong dito, kung recorded, yes, meron pong speaking recorder sa exam. Academic regular, GT regular, you have voice recorders. For UKVI, you have CCTV. The only difference between UKVI and regular IELTS is the CCTV. And when UKVI was implemented, it was actually much more expensive. 14K versus 11K lang noon si regular when it was implemented. But since regular IELTS academic or GT kept on increasing every single quarter, nasa 14.3 na siya ngayon, si UKVI walang pagbabago yung price. So, bakit siya nire-record? Bakit kailangan ng CCTV? Bakit kailangan ng voice recorder? For recording purposes. That's number one. Number two, for recheck purposes. So I posted a video lecture yesterday. Ang title nun is EOR or Enquiry on Result. Recheck. Basically, yung recorded conversation nyo ng examiner, papakinggan niya ng another examiner, and the examiner can decide whether dagdagan niya yung score mo o hindi. So kung dadagdagan niya yung score from 6.5, mag-i-email sila sa'yo, congratulations, your score has improved from 6 to 6.5. Babalik pa nila yung pera nila. Pera mo sa'yo. So once again, ang recording ay para sa recheck process. Ang recheck, walang bumababa dyan. It's either retain or increase. So magandang sugal yan. Okay? So yung mga students natin before na sumugal dyan, pinakamataas kong improvement dyan from 6, naging 7.5 yung score ng speaking niya. From 6.5 to 7, napakadali. Tumaas yung score. So that is for the enquiry on results. That is the purpose of recording. What's our objective today? To be able to organize speech answers in the IELTS speaking exam, to be able to come up with effective answer to questions asked in the speaking subtest, and to be able to practice how to become a better speaker. So again, by means of practicing, you will be able to improve your craft through constant exposure to the scenario that is very close to reality. Your examination is divided into 3 sections, otherwise known as your parts. So part 1 is your introduction and interview. This will last for about 4 to 5 minutes. Actually, your speaking part 1, it's either 9 questions or 4 minutes. 9 questions or 4 minutes. Whichever comes first. Ibig sabihin, ano mauna dyan? So kung nauna si 4 minutes with only like 5 questions, we shall proceed to the next section. Or, hindi ka pa naka 4 minutes pero naubos mo na yung 9 questions ng examiner for part 1, you will proceed to the second round. Okay? Now, you will be wondering, which is better? 9 questions or 4 minutes? Tinanong ko na yung mga iba dyan before. Anong gusto mo? 9 questions or 4 minutes? Sasabihin ko sa iyo kung bakit mali yun. Ano? 4 minutes? Actually, that's a correct answer. We would want 4 minutes because by being able to reach the 4-minute mark, despite having fewer questions. Kasi, when you go to question 6, 7, 8, and 9, the questions become more difficult. Kasi, expected natin ang questions 1, 2, 3 to be what is your name? Kung wala what is your name, describe yourself. Kung wala yun, diretso ang tanong. Are you working or are you studying? Do you live in a house or in an apartment? Mga potential questions sa kasunod niyan, do you read books? Do you like watching movies? Do you have pets at home? Kung mahaba kang sumagot, 4 minutes, cut na. Kung may ikli ka sumagot, pa isa-isa lang. Yes, no. Do you have pets? Yes. Tapos na, next question. What do you think is the importance of having pets to children? Diba? Bigla ang tatanong nila na hirap nila. Kung hindi mo, kung sumagot ka ng mahaba, hindi na lalabas yung tanong na yun. Because you were able to respond with satisfactory answer. So how to do that? Give as much detail as you can. You know, are you working or are you studying? Are you working or are you studying? Di ba? Nagko-contemplate kasi tayo eh. Unang tanong, are you working or studying? Sasagot ko dyan. Di ba? Okay, that's a very crucial start. Because, sabi nga ng mga tao, no? First impression lasts. Applicable po ito dito. Kung paano ka nag-respond sa first question, baka yun ang mag-define sa'yo throughout. So you don't want that to happen. Nag-umpisa pa lang, bibong-bibo ka na eh. So sir, paano yun? Hindi po ako nagtatrabaho. Nag-resign po ako. O di sabihin mo natin ng trabaho. Sabihin mo, nag-aanap ka ng bagong trabaho. Sabihin mo, I'm not working right now since I just resigned from my previous post as a staff nurse in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, particularly in this King Saud Hospital for 8 years. I resigned because I'm planning to work also as a nurse because that is my profession in Australia, and I'm actually waiting for my papers to be approved, especially if I am able to pass this exam. So being a nurse is very challenging, but since this is my passion, being able to help people recover from their illnesses, nothing makes me happier than doing my job. So that is the reason why for the past 12 years, including my 8-year stint in Saudi Arabia, I don't see myself working another kind of job. It's really my passion. Obo. Plastic eh, di ba? Passion ka pong halik eh, kaya naman naman dito eh. Okay. So yan. What's important here is establish rapport and connection. What is rapport? Diba? This is an invisible force that connects people. Parang ang gaan ng loob ko sa'yo. Diba? How do you establish rapport? Smile! Diba? Smile ka. Ano yung parang serial killer na smile? Alright? So smile genuinely. There's a difference between speaking while you're smiling versus not smiling while you're speaking. Hi, my name is Kevin Mohamed. You can call me Kevin for short. As that is what my friends and family call me. It's nice to meet you. English, yung grammar, yung fluency, maganda yung vocabulary, kompleto, wala na akong hihilingin pa, pero walang rapport, walang connection, no fluency, no pronunciation. Hi, my name is Kevin Mohamed. Please call me Kevin for short, as that is what my friends and family calls me. It's nice to meet you. Diba? Better. Nakuha? So that is your rapport. Connection, maintaining eye contact. Actually, we don't have eye contacts now since hindi naman face-to-face ang exam. Unless nag-book ka ng pen and paper-based exam. There's a probability na yung examiner mo will be attending. Hello. Wala akong battery. There's a tendency that your examiner will attend the test in person. Wala nang battery. That is your part 1. Questions? The challenge in part 1 is how you perceive your audience. This will affect the degree of apprehension. Remember, the more you fear the audience, the more nervous you become. So how to abandon fear? Know who your enemy is. Know all the details about the exam by subjecting yourself, exposing yourself constantly to it through coaching sessions. Therefore, understand and try to put on a smile and set the tone. Befriend your audience, the examiner. This lessens anxiety in your part. Don't be a reactive, rather a proactive speaker. Concentrate on your subject. Speakers lack confidence because they think too much about themselves. Remember that speakers lack confidence, and confidence is going to be the enemy of anxiety here. So you have to improve this part. Working on developing enthusiasm on your topic, you have to sound like someone who likes sharing details about him or herself. So that means you have to provide even little details as well as storytelling. So you have to include those in your speech. Individual long turn will be the most crucial part because, let me tell you this, Ma'am Shannon received 8.5 in her speaking exam. Sir Irvin, Sir Brian Martin Shoson, Ma'am Faith Sirkina, my mentors, all got 9. Imagine if in part 1, you performed as good as them. In part 3, you were able to match the same level of expertise. Sa madaling sabi, sa Tagalog po, kaya mong maging kasing galing nila sa part 1 and part 3, pero hindi ng part 2. Malinaw po tayo. Uulit ko lang ha. Magaling sila. Nakakuha sila ng 8.5 ng 9 sa exam. Imaginein mo, kaya mong gawin yon sa part 1 and 3 lang. At hindi sa part 2. Ang tanong, makakapasa ka ba? When I say pasa, will you be able to get a band 7 or higher? The answer is no. Kahit kasing galing mo pa sila sa part 1 and 3, kung hindi okay ang individual long term mo, yung part 2, hindi ka makakuha ng 7 o higit pa. Ang buhay po ng speaking test ay nasa part 2 or individual long term na ipapaliwanag ko mamaya. Okay? So the examiner will give you a task card here and asks you to talk about a particular topic of your interest. This will include points that you can cover in your talk. You're given 1 minute to prepare. You will be given a pencil and a paper. Pwede mo nga iwi yung pencil na yun. Actually, yung sa akin at sa misis ko, nasa bahay pa, yung ginamit naming pencil. Because again, wala pang computer-based before. Pen and paper-based pa lang. So, you need to talk for 1 to 2 minutes on the topic. By the way, regardless of pen and paper or computer-based, you will be given a piece of paper and a pencil. This will be utilized. They will be used for the process of preparing your notes before your talk begins for 1 minute. Examiners ask you 1 or 2 questions on the same topic. This will now signify the beginning of your part 3 or what we call the two-way discussion, the most difficult part of your exam because the questions here are more abstract in nature. It says here that the questions could be connected, but there will be occasions in which they are not connected at all. So you will be asked questions about photography, tapos traveling, tapos spending money, tapos what else? Watching TV. So some of the questions are not that connected in a sense. So you don't expect anything from part 3. You can get asked anything from politics to geosciences or whatever. So it becomes really complicated. So kaya may handa tayong baon dyan later. So the discussion here is more general. It's more like, as it says, two-way discussion. You will be discussing detail about ideas related to the questions given by the examiner. That's your part 3. But, wala tayong bakit. Wala tayong saging. Tapos, kuha ko ng cloud din. Chocolate, then sa cloud. So, tapos na tayo. Wala? Hindi mo ko ng katulong. Ah, 13. Tigil 5 lang ata isa na. So you will be assessed according to the 4 areas of the language, including fluency and cohesion, grammar, lexical resource, and pronunciation. Fluency is about your response rate, the way how your answer responds to the question. Grammar, so I've mentioned, this will be inferior. No? Hindi siya yung focal point ng speaking exam. Lexical resource will be the words. So basically, you don't have to, you have to avoid using non-English terms. So bawal yung mga Filipino terms. Like, my lolo, my lola, in our barangay, I like eating sinigang, mga ganon. Diba? Because imagine if your examiner, sabi ko nga, 33 active examiners, may examiner tayo from Egypt, meron tayong examiner from Peru, may examiner tayo from Puerto Rico, diba? Katingin mo, alam nun yung lumpiang Shanghai, diba? So, avoid using non-English terms. As much as possible, if you will be mentioning something, let's say, Lumpiang Shanghai, you really want to talk about Lumpiang Shanghai, you have to explain it in English. Or you have to translate it in English. Okay? Pronunciation will be the most important key to your speaking success. Pronunciation, you have the process of enunciation or pronouncing the syllables properly. Then we have your delivery. The style, the charisma, the posture, the gesture, everything that comes in between. So you have to master all of them. The way how you handle conversations. So make it seem like this is a friendly conversation between you and the examiner. Like we're just having a friendly chat. But the thing is, you need to still maintain this level of respect between you guys. Okay? So fluency. Can this person handle himself or herself professionally? Will the person be able to relate to different types of conversation, or if this person is only limited to simple types of conversation? Does the person grope for terms, often using fillers like you know? Again, there will be occasions in which Ma'am Shannon or I will be using and you know. When our examination happened in the past, we used some you know here and there. But we didn't let us to serve as a filler. We didn't let it to be a filler. When it comes to understanding filler, naglalagay ka ng mga non-essentials or unnecessary stuff in your speech. Like, hi, my name is Kevin Mangolabnan. Please call me Kevin for short. It's nice to meet you. Naglagay ka ng filler. Naging, hi, my name is Kevin, and you can call me Kevin. Pag ganon, it sounds very disruptive. The flow becomes invalid. It becomes stirred up, becomes chaotic. The sound, it doesn't sound very delivered properly. So, I'm not saying to avoid using ums and as, you knows here and there. I'm not saying that you need to avoid using them completely. All I'm trying to say is that if you can minimize the usage of your fillers, ums, as, your speech will sound way better. So, imagine, ganun yung pagsasalita mo, ano? Palitan mo lang siya ng pause. Hi, my name is Kevin, and yung mga signs ko na to, yun yung na. It's nice to meet you. You can call me Kevin for short. Diba? Mabagal, oo, okay lang. But you're able to minimize the occurrence, the usage of fillers. Pauses actually add color and flavor to your speech. So, try to add some pause here or there in your speech. Gumagamit din po tayo ng mga connecting devices kasi fluency has something to do with connection. So remember that the connecting devices that we use in writing are very formal. Like furthermore, moreover, in addition, on the other hand, yan yung mga ginagamit natin sa writing. Those are essential in writing. But in speaking, since we're trying to make it sound less professional and more friendly, we want to ditch those levels of formality. So natin maging feeling close tayo ni examiner. So you have to use a much friendlier options pagdating sa connecting devices. So instead of using furthermore, and na lang. And also, as well. I like eating that as well. O, di ba? It sounds friendlier, like, furthermore, eating that is very exquisite. Di ba? Parang, ang hirap mong kausap pag no? Guys, si Ma'am Shana naka 8.5, ang dami ko nang sadyantong naka 9, wala kaming ganung level ng pakikipag-usap. No? One of our competitor review centers, tinuturo nila yung paggamit ng mga kakaibang words, tulad ng mga flabbergasted. Ganyan ata spelling yan. If I'm not mistaken, 2 B. Neoteric. Gargantuan. No? Pag narinig ng examiner, bubwisit sila eh. Sabi nga ng mga examiners, no to big words. We just want to know your abilities to communicate. And if you're going to use big words, where's the communication in that? Kasi ang aim ng big word is para i-impress mo yung kausap mo. Pwede kang gumamit ng big word pag ang level ng pakikipag-usap natin, let's say, nasa convention tayo. So, syempre, gagamit ako dyan ng mga jargon, ng mga terms, ng mga flabbergasted. Okay lang, kasi kailangan kong pabilibin yung audience ko. Eh dito, you don't want to impress them with words. You want to impress them with content. You want to impress them with flavor. You want to impress them with your ability, how you can use English to communicate easily, efficiently, easy to crunch, easy to digest. So, no to big words. Kaya sabi ng examiner, gulat siya eh. Why are you going to, how are you flabbergasted eh? Sabi kasi nung examiner, tinanong siya, what is your favorite food? Ang sagot daw, in this neoteric era, I'm flabbergasted about being asked of my favorite food. Sabi niya, wait a minute, how are you flabbergasted? I'm only asking about your favorite food. Pag ginugil mo kasi yung flabbergasted, alam mo yung gulat na, talagang nagulat ka, na natakot ka, gulat na may halong takot, that's flabbergasted. Pasok ba yung konteksto nun sa pag-uusap? Tinatanong lang kita, anong paboritong pagkain? Yung ba tamang reaction doon? Hindi, di ba? So you're just forcing the word in our conversation. Kahit wala siyang sense. So, si Ma'am Shana naka 8.5. Si Sir Irvin naka 9. Ako, nakakuha ko ng 8. Wala kaming ginamit ng mga ganyan. Wala kaming ginamit mga flabbergasted na yan. So, use simple English. Use it to communicate, not to impress. That's the goal. Grammar, The most important thing is answering in complete sentences. Hindi pwedeng pa one word lang. Tinanong kita, what is your favorite food? Sabi mo, pizza. O, diba? That's a one-word answer. It should be complete. My favorite food is pizza. I love eating pizza because I find it tastes delicious. O, diba? With that, you can complete your sentence, minimizing the effect of grammar issues in your speech. Okay? Vocab. Again, note to Filipino terms. Kung kailangan mo talaga maggamit ng Filipino terms, pagkasabi mo ng Filipino term, i-translate mo siya agad in English so that examiners can understand. Once again, our aim here is to relay information for communication process. No to bad words, no? Bawal yung mga what the fuck, no? Bitch, mga ganun, bawal po yung mga masasamang salita. So pronunciation and delivery, that's the pronunciation of the person in their effective communication. You have to modulate your voice. Your voice must have this basic foundation of strength and intensity. Hindi siya dapat pasigaw, no? Hindi naman siya dapat sobrang hina. Kasi examiners will be also asking you to make your voice a bit louder. Does the person put appropriate stress on words? Yun siya. When you say stress, you add certain highlights, no? Increased tones in your speech. Let's say, does the pronunciation of the person hinder effective communication? That is your stress. You're putting highlights. So, halimbawa sa, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalabnan. You can call me Kevin for short, as that is what my friends and family call me. Ang stress doon, hi, nandun. My name is Kevin Mangalabnan. You can call me Kevin for short, as that is what my friends and family calls me. It's nice to meet you, di ba? Yung mga highlights sa taas na yun yung stress. So you have to utilize it accordingly. Hindi lahat may stress, ha? Lahat na lang may stress. Hi, my name is, di ba? Ang pangit eh. Ang pangit na pangit, masyadong pilit. So you have to make it sound natural as much as possible. Do they have a glide? Is it consistently heard? Yung kaninang sabi nyo na, my mother's kind, glide yun. Mother is, napagdikit siya. That's a very lazy way of using American accent. American accent is glide, no? Has glide. So yun yung glide. Pinapadulas na yung pagsasalita para imbes na bibigkasin mo pa yung isa. For example, there is, naging there's na lang. Yun. Glide yun. Do they maintain consistent volume throughout the conversation? Once again, modulate your voice so that you don't appear as if you're shouting, because the examiner will think that you're brain damaged. No? So be careful. Does the voice quality hinder effective communication? Huwag ipitin ang boses. The lower the pitch of your voice, the better control you have. Kasi pag medyo tinaasan mo yan, you will be putting more effort just to manipulate the tone. And as you do that, ang mangyayari dyan, hihingaling ka, your voice will sound breathy, at unpleasant yon sa pandinig ng examiner. You have to remember, it's part of pronunciation. So we don't want to be judged just because we're breathy. Nasal. Ayaw nila yan. The speaking subtest requires you to answer the questions in full. You have personal answers, which means ideas are going to come from personal experience and opinions about the topic being discussed, which is very easy. Intellectual answers will be ideas coming from information learned from audiovisual resources such as newspapers, books, magazines, and others. In the writing subtest, I will ask you to read newspapers often. In the speaking subtest, I will ask you to watch interviews in English. English interviews, mga late night shows. Try nyo manood ng mga ganun kung paano sila sumasagot, nagre-respond sa mga questions. It will be a big help. No? What type of speech should I use? You have memorized, you have extemporaneous, delivered with little preparation, usually with the help of some notes or an outline. Impromptu is where you have to speak immediately without time for preparation. You could be caught off guard with impromptu speech, especially if examiners will be moving from one difficult topic to the next one. abruptly, no? Sa mabilisan yan, na dapat mag-isip ka. Little time, siguro 1 to 2 seconds lang para mag-isip. Introduction and interview for part 1. These are some of the questions that will appear. Again, name could be asked 50-50. Pag tinanong ka ng name, ganun mo papakilala yung sarili mo. Hi, I'm, buong pangalan. You can call me at yung nickname. It's nice to meet you. Don't ask the examiner, ha? Bawal kang magtanong. What is your name? Hi, my name is Kevin. How about you? No? Ikaw po ang ini-interview dito, bawal kang magtanong. You don't ask questions back. That's a very huge mistake. Tanong ko na examiner, what's your favorite food? Oh, mine's pizza. What about you? Tangik, hindi ka dapat magtanong sa examiner. Ikaw nga ini-interview eh. So, no questions allowed. Alright? Be confident. So, pag tinanong ka ng name mo, syempre, pangalan lang. Wala ka munang bibigay na age, saka gumraduate, anong paborito mong ganito. Kapag tinanong yung describe yourself, yan na. No? Yan na yung no boundaries. Unbound ka na dyan. Pwede mo nang sabihin kahit anong gusto mo tungkol sa sarili mo. Hi, my name is Kevin. When I was young, I was bitten by a dog. Pwede na yun. Di ba? Kasi describe yourself eh. Pero sa what is your name, hindi pwede. Okay? So, describe yourself. Ano bang meron sa'yo? Age mo, ilang taong ka na, civil status, kailan ka pinanganak, family, saan ka nakatira, educational background. Di ba? So, sa describe yourself, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalabnan, 32 years old, married for 3 years. I have a son, and my wife is about to give birth next month, November, to our daughter. I've been working as an English lecturer for the past 9 years, but I have tried working as a nurse, which is my profession. I love teaching and I love being a nurse, both. So I'm trying to balance things out, especially my family time as well. My hobbies include playing guitar, playing video games, and also mountaineering. I've already climbed 19 mountains in Luzon. I haven't climbed one in Visayas. I'm trying to ask permission to my wife because I was able to climb all those 19 mountains prior to my marriage. So now my wife isn't allowing me to go to mountains anymore because it's quite dangerous. So I hope she does allow me to climb another mountain soon. Kwento ka pa. Hindi pa siya nagtatanong. I also love listening to music. I actually just bought some headphones, which is very expensive, but it's worth the price because with my cheap headphones, I wasn't able to listen to the highs and lows of the pitch of the sounds that I'm using. So because, as I've mentioned, I'm also a guitarist, I know how to play a guitar. It's very important for me to listen to those tones because I'm trying to reciprocate, to follow those chords. I listen to the music and play the guitar as well. So, kwento ka pa, hindi pa siya nagtatanong, describe yourself. Nagigets yung point, yan yung mga pwede mong puntahan. Interest mo, likes mo, dislikes, favorites, personality. Oh. Nakukuha. Alright. Describe your hometown. Do you live in a house or in an apartment? Mapasaang lupalop ka pa ng mundo mag-exam, mapa Canada yan, mapa New Zealand yan, mapa Peru, Egypt, Qatar. Tinatanong lagi yung, do you live in a house or in an apartment? Pag sinabi mo yan, of course, do you live in a house or in an apartment? My place of residence is located at, o sabihin mo yung complete address, sabihin mo kung apartment ito, magkano renta, bakit ka nagrenta kaysa bumili, di ba? You have to tell us details. O bakit bahay, sino nagpagawa, minana nyo ba to, sino mga kasama nyo, yun ang atake doon. Nakuha? Are you working or are you studying? If you're studying, say so. If you're working, say so. If you're not working since you resigned, tell the examiner about your previous job. If you are not working, you didn't resign because kakagraduate mo lang, then also tell the examiner, I'm not working nor studying at the moment since I just graduated last month from my bachelor's degree in nursing. So I'm preparing for my board examination this coming November. And when I do, pass, which I hope, I will now be able to be eligible to work as a registered nurse in the Philippines, giving me enough experience before I follow my family, my mother and father, who is in America. It's my dream to be with them and to work the profession they've been dreaming of working for me. O, di ba? Ganda. Ganun ang mga sagutan. Okay? Sir, paano po yun? Hindi po ako nakapag-aral po ako, hindi ko po nagamit yung profession ko, kasi after nun, nanganak po ako at kinasal nanganak, tapos 9 years na po akong nasa bahay, then tell the examiner, no? Wala ang problema dun. I'm not working or studying at the moment. I'm a nurse by profession, but I wasn't able to practice my profession since after graduating, my then boyfriend, name is pangalan, Gerald, kunwari, Gerald yung pangalan, we decided to get married, and he told me he doesn't want me to work because he's going to be the one working for the family, and we also own a business. So I've been a housewife ever since our marriage, which is for 9 years. But now I decided that it's about time, since our kids are already old enough to be on their own, to practice my profession as a nurse in New Zealand. That's why I'm taking this exam as well. O, di ba? Ganun ang mga atake. So, iba-iba tayo eh. So, alamin mo, paano mo sasagutin yung mga questions na to base sa kung sino ka. Paano mo sasagutin yung are you working or are you studying? Paano mo sasagutin yung do you live in a house or in an apartment? Di ba? Kailangan may nakahanda ka ng bala. Bakit? Kasi kahit saan kang bansa mag-exam, yan lagi ang unang dalawang tanong. Dahil alam mo na, mas advantageous yun sa'yo kaysa sa mga hindi nakakaalam. Kaya nga nagbayad dito, syempre sinishare namin mga important info na yun. Kahit saan ka pang lugar mag-take ng exam, laging kasama yan. Okay? So try to face a mirror. Mamaya pagka-uwi mo, record mo yung sarili mo, practicein mo nang sagutin yung mga basic questions like those. At bukod doon, nakalista na rin po yung mga iba pang tanong, random mo. Kunwari, ito tanong, do you like taking photographs? Paano kung yun yung tinanong sa'yo? Harap ka sa mirror. As a matter of fact, although I'm not a professional photographer, I love taking photos of people, places, even events. That is why my 256 gigabyte of memory inside my cell phone is already consumed. Because I just love taking photos of people. I love taking photos of moments. Because I want to remember them in the future. Diba? Yun. Do you share photos that you capture online? Yes, I do. Every single day, I will be posting on my social media channels to share photos of my son, our bonding moments, screenshots of conversation, funny conversations of my friends, because I want to share to people the emotions I feel during that time. That's why sharing is also important. But I also have this rule not to share photos of my house for privacy purposes, not to share photos of my belongings, because people might think that I'm rich, which I'm not. And, you know, people have bad intentions, could do bad to me. So I'm preventing that from happening. So I'm sharing only essential things to my friends, not to the public as a whole. Social media could be damaging as well. Pwede mo rin i-share yun. Describe your job. Reminders. Yan. Yan ang mga tanong. Sa part 1. Do you like eating spicy food? Oh, di ba? May mga gustong kumain sa atin na maanghang, merong ayaw. Tell the examiner. I like eating spicy food. I don't like eating spicy food. Then, state your reasons. Why? Bakit? Anong dahilan? Di ba? Always remember that in giving your answer, the detail that you should provide must include reason. What is the reason? Like, do you like listening to music? Ang sagot mo ay yes. What's the reason? Diba? What's the reason of you liking listening to music? Do you like attending concerts? Sabi mo, no. Again ha, iba-iba po tayo. I'm just using some random answers here. These are not actually my actual answers. If the test comes, hindi ko to sagot. I'm just trying to give you ideas. Paano kung ang maging sagot mo o hindi o oo sa tanong na to, anong implication nun? What is the reason? Why? We are different from each other. Iba-iba tayo. Bakit gusto mo mag-sound trip? Bakit ayaw niya? So you have to justify. Give me reasons. Kevin, do you like eating spicy food? I don't like eating spicy dishes because I just don't find the taste appealing. Whenever I eat spicy food with my family and friends, they laugh at me because of how low my tolerance for spicy is. If you compare the way how I react versus how they react with spicy food, they laugh at me because my face turns red, I lose my appetite because my tongue feels like burning. One time, my hate for spicy food happened when I was young. Example na to. I was eating some peanuts with some chili bits and one piece got stuck in my eye. So I was able to wash it after several minutes, but I was traumatized. Ever since then, I don't like eating spicy food. Ako yun. E paano kung yung misis ko naman yun? I love eating spicy food. I don't think I can survive without the chili oil in any of the dishes. Siya yun eh. So alamin mo, paano mo sasagutin yung mga ganitong tanong base sa kung sino ka? What is your favorite color? So dun po iikot ang part 1 eh. Likes, dislikes. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? What is your favorite TV show? What is your favorite film? What is a film that you would like to share to your friends? What is the time of the day that you like? So bukod sa like, meron ding dislike. What is an article of clothing that you don't like? Diba? What is an item that you will never buy? Diba? What is the time of the day that you hate the most? Anong oras daw sa buong araw ang ayaw mo? Bakit? Diba? So yun yung mga tanong. Likes, dislikes, interest, everything about you. So what you need to provide are answers, reasons, and examples. Okay? What is your answer? Don't just blurt out short answers na yes, no. Dapat mahaba. Yes, I love eating spicy food because, boom. Nakuha? Okay. Part 2. Task card, you will be given main question and guide points. Use your pencil and paper to outline your ideas. You're given 1 minute to organize it. Use it wisely. Talk uninterruptedly for 2 minutes. Start when told to start. Stop when told to stop. Just a reminder, when you will be undergoing coaching sessions, please bring your own piece of paper and a pencil. Kayo po ang estudyante, hindi po kami, ubos na po lahat ng ballpen at bond paper namin, hindi po yung kasama sa binayaran nyo. Kapal na mukha mo, ano? Alright. So, bring your own pencil and paper. Bakit po kailangan nyo mag-practice na may pencil and paper ka sa exam? Kasi ganun po mismo yung ginagawa. So, here's the idea. Here's the idea. This is a sample question. Discuss the national bird of your country. What is it? What are its characteristics? What does it symbolize? Why do you think it is the national bird? Example yan. Now, sabi ng examiner, okay, Kevin, your 1 minute preparation time is over. Now, tell me about your answer. Magiging blanco yan. Can you remember everything? It's going to be difficult. Kaya, pero mahirap. Kaya mong alalahanin, pero mahirap kung wala kang guide. But if you copied some parts, you layered it down to the last bullet point, you are now guided not to miss a bullet point. Sabi nga natin, part 2 is very important. It's basically the most important part of your speaking test. Na kahit maka 9 ka sa part 1 o maka 9 ka sa part 3, if you miss just one bullet point in part 2, you will never even see the shadow of a band 7. Baka nga 6.5, hindi pa eh. Again ha, given how good, how great our mentors are in speaking, maka 8.5 or 9 ka sa part 1, may mamimiss ka na isa na bullet point sa part 2, tapos ang lahat. That is how important taking notes is in the test. It will serve as your guide. It will help you remember things to include in your 2-minute speech. Okay, consider that. Ngayon, kung matigas pa rin ang ulo mo, tayo magsulat, bahala ka na po sa buhay mo. Okay? So, the examiner will tell you something like this. Alright, Kevin, this will be your question for today. But first, let me give you 1 minute to prepare for the question. I will be staying quiet for 1 minute. I'll let you know once your preparation time is over. Now, do your preparation. Tapos may countdown timer kang makikita sa taas. At ano nang gagawin mo? Susulat mo na ang tanong. Oh. May timer po tayo dito. Okay, timer. 1 minute. Yan. Tatry kong isulat. Dito sa side na to. Go. So main question, national bird. This is the Philippine monkey eating eagle. What? Describe. Ano ko siya describe? In length, in size, characteristic. It's a wild animal. Diba? Symbol? Freedom. And why? It is endemic to the Philippines. Sabihin, dito lang siya makikita. And it is a reminder of heroes' bravery. Ting, 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 ting. 0. Okay? Ngayon, sasabihin ng examiner, Kevin, you now have 2 minutes to tell me about your answer. Diba? So, ito pong sinulat ko kanina. Yan na lang pong matitira sa akin. Yan. So, habang nagsasalita ako, ang ginagawa ko dyan, nag-check ako, kasi nasa akin tong note eh. Nagkakaintindihan? I have my note. So, for me not to miss, okay, i-check ko siya. Tapos, dahil may 2-minute kang timer, nakikita mo ngayon na okay, nag-glance ka sa monitor, na every 25 seconds pala, dapat nag-move na ako sa kasunod na bullet point. By that, makaka-consume ka ng 1 minute and 30 seconds to cover all the bullet points. E para saan yung remaining 30 seconds to complete the entire 2-minute mark? Para yon sa introduction at sa closure or conclusion. Natig 15 seconds naman. So, pakita natin. So I will be having here a 2-minute countdown timer. papakita natin sa monitor. Kevin, you may now begin. Ito siya. Teka, hindi ko makita. Alisin na nga natin yung background ng video. Huwag na tayo mag-background. None. Yan. Para kita nyo na. So once again, you will no longer see the question. You will only see your notes since magiging blanco po yan. So inilagay ko lang po ito para makita nyo kung paano ako magpo-proceed pero nasa papel niya yan, ha? Okay. So Kevin, you now have 2 minutes. Ito yung countdown timer. So the national bird of the Philippines is known as the Philippine monkey-eating eagle. As the name implies, this eagle eats small marsupials like monkeys, rats, and snakes for its meal. So, what is it? This is a wild animal. It has a very sharp beak and claws. It stands about 1.4 meter tall in height to about 1.7, as big as an elementary pupil. It's actually much bigger than the American bald eagle. It's actually the second largest bird in captivity in the entire world. The second largest eagle, right next to the harpy eagle. So it uses those physical features, very huge wingspan, sharp eyesight, beaks and claws to capture its prey in the wild. The symbol of this bird, it symbolizes the freedom of my country because for the past 400 years, it has been occupied by Spaniards, Americans, and Japanese. And this is the national bird because it is a reminder of how our heroes fought for the freedom of my country. It reminds us of their bravery. And the reason why I believe it's a national bird and not just some kind of bird, not some common birds, it's because it's endemic to the Philippines. It can only be found in the Visayas and Mindanao region, particularly in Davao, where it is endemic. It's home. So tapos ang 2 minutes. And that is the national bird of my country, Philippine monkey-eating eagle. Tapos ang 2 minutes. Okay? Now, there will be occasions which examiners will be using some hand gestures. Pag gumanon yung examiner, yan, that means hindi siya satisfied, baka may na-miss ka. So bakit hindi siya nagsabi, huy, dagdagan mo pa? Bakit nag-hand gesture siya? Kasi gusto kang tulungan pumasa ng examiner. Sabihin, mabait yung examiner na yon. Naka-record po kayo, as you can remember. So if the examiner will speak, basically, tapos na yung turn mo sa task 2, may nakalimutan kang bullet points na hindi mo na-cover. So pag gumanon siya, try to read over. Try to go over your note and to see kung may na-miss ka doon na item. And to cover it. Okay? Or there will be occasions which the examiner is just not satisfied sa naging answer mo. With that, pwede kang magdagdag ng info like occasions related to the topic at saka history about the topic. Diba? So for example, ang topic mo is what is your favorite food? Or what is a dish you know how to cook? Tapos nilagay mo dyan, spaghetti. So you can insert that spaghetti is also one of the always present meals in birthday parties, in office parties, no? Ang dami na natin sa Zoom, 10 na. Yan. Tell me something about the food you like the most. So some people would answer sinigang, or adobo, or pinakbet, di ba? The problem with those answers is that they are in Filipino. And if your examiner, let's say, is from Egypt, is from Peru, is from Russia, di ba? They may not know what a sinigang is, or what an adobo is, or what pinakbet is. So if you really want to answer those dishes, you have to be sure to also include their English terms. Diba? So sinigang would be broiled pork soup in pork in tamarind soup na may gabi with taro. O, diba? Si adobo naman is vinegar braised kung chicken and soy sauce. Pinakbet, stir-fried, mixed vegetables, and fish sauce. Kare-kare would be ox tripe in peanut sauce na may bagong with sauteed shrimp paste. Diba ang hirap? Kaya ang sagot ko nga dyan, ice cream eh. Di tapos, ang laban. Tell something about the food you like the most. The food that I like eating the most is a dessert. And it's an ice cream. I love eating ice cream because it's easy to digest. It's easy to eat. This food is made from combining several ingredients. Plus, spelling ko. The most important one being milk. So this is not just a good source of protein, but it's also very sweet. So my favorite flavor of ice cream is definitely strawberry. I think I love strawberry the most, the strawberry flavored one the most because of how rare I'm able to eat one. That's why whenever I go to Baguio City, where a lot of strawberries are farmed, I always make sure to eat strawberry ice cream there. I often eat it when I was young, almost every day. But now that I know that too much sugar in the body causes some problems in your health, then I try to eat only once or twice in a week. I buy ice cream in bulk in different local stores in the place where I live. So in Cabanatuan City, where my house is located, there are several local shops which not only serves ice cream but also deliver it to your doorstep. But it's also available in supermarkets where I also stock some pints in my refrigerator. So whenever I watch some films with my wife, she will be eating some meat dishes and I'll be indulging in a pint of my favorite chocolate or strawberry flavored ice cream. Also, some fast food restaurants like McDonald's also serve some sundaes in a cone, which is very economical. They don't cost that much. So I like eating ice cream so much because, especially on hot summer days, it keeps me cool and I love eating sweets the most. So this is not just my favorite food, but also my favorite dessert of all. Eh, gumanon sa examiner. O dagdag mo na yung occasion. Anong mga occasion mo iniit yung ice cream? O gumanon pa ulit siya. Anong history? Kailan ka first time nakakain ng ice cream? Kumpara mo yung way ng pagkain mo ng ice cream ngayon. Before, you have some peddlers, di ba? In your subdivision, maririnig mo talaga, there will be some bikes, some vendors of ice cream. They have this very colorful umbrella. But now, you miss that kind of sellers kasi nga ngayon, nasa supermarkets na lang halos lahat ng mga ice cream. So, pwede mong idagdag yan kapag gumanon sa examiner. Pero pag walang ganon ha, hindi ka magdadagdag ng occasion, hindi ka magdadagdag ng history kasi baka mangyari, no, ang naging approach mo sa sobrang haba, ito po yung gusto nating iwasan as much as possible. Sabi mo, what is this food? How often do you eat this? Hindi mo to na-cover. pumunta ka na sa history, pumunta ka na sa occasion, na-cut na yung 2 minutes, 2 bullet point yung hindi mo nasagot. Pag 2 bullet point ang hindi mo nasagot, 5 yan. Oh, kahit na kasing galing mo pa si Sir Irvin sa part 1 and 3. Sabi ko nga, the most important thing in your speaking test will be the part 2. Nagkakaintindihan? Okay. So, always remember, part 2 is the most important part of your speaking test. So, name a TV show you like watching. Kung wala ka pang TV show that you like watching ngayon, maghanap-hanap ka na. Mas maganda sana kung English at educational. Okay? A friend who you really like to spend time with. Sample question yan. You have to cover the bullet points. When and how you meet. Kailangan ko ng time. Kung nagkakilala ba kayo sa school. Anong grade ka nun. Anong taon. Kung kaya mong hulaan. Kung hindi naman totoo. Iimbestigahan ka ba ng examiner? Pakitingnan nga yung record ng school na to. Kung talaga nagkakilala si Kevin at yung friend niya noong 1999. Di ba? Hindi naman. So, if you can come up with some outright facts na malapit naman sa reality, para hindi ka na masyado mahirapan mag-recall ng details. Kasi baka, I forgot. Di ba? O nag-pause ka, nagkaroon ka pa ng problema. No? Two-way discussion will be our part 3. This will be a follow-up of task 2. Mas critical yung questions, may be abstract in nature. Remember, the most challenging aspect of impromptu speaking is in generating and organizing your thoughts. Sometimes when asked a question, your mind may get flooded with countless possible answers. Other times may draw a complete blank. The challenge will be even greater if your topic is on a subject that you know nothing about. So make sure to be well prepared. Sometimes your sensitivity to the topic may make it difficult for you to address it adequately. Regardless of what situation you may find yourself in, it can be very useful for you to know that there will be some methodologies to help you quickly formulate and organize your off-the-cuff responses, or basically impromptu responses. We call that the point, reason, example, point. If you remember my method that I taught you in part 1, give me the answer, give me the explanation, why, always answer, always expound on the why question, and then give me examples before you close it. That will be the best thing that you can do. Not just in part 3, but also in part 1. That's how we explore our responses in parts 1 and 3. It should not be necessarily long. It should not be painfully boring long. It should just be enough to cover what is it, what is your answer, tell it to me, is there a reason why, answer it as well, give me examples, tell me stories, tell me about your childhood, tell me about the recent event. Tinanong ka, what is the gift that you gave to someone? Binigyan mo ng iPhone yung nanay mo, bakit? Kasi nga luma na yung kanya, o anong example nun? Kailan yun? Anong okasyon? Saan mo siya binigay? Binalot mo ba? Nagigets yung point, tell a story, recall. Alright? So, may mga questions like this. Why do you think a hole of a manhole is round? At kapag tinanong natin ang mga sarili natin, mahirap ba to o hindi? Ay, mahirap yan. Diba? Why do you think a hole of a manhole is round? Ma'am, why do you think the hole of a manhole is round? Pwede yan. Tanungin natin si, without looking here, kasi yan ay mga sagot. Tanungin natin si Michi. Michi, why do you think a hole of a manhole is round? Andiyan ka pa ba, Michi? Tanungin natin si Michi. Michi! Sige, wala si Michi. Sino na lang tatanungin natin? Si Melo. Melo? Natalie? Bukod sa mga answers na nakikita niyo dito, why is a hole of a manhole round? Yan. Bakit daw siya bilog? Jilen, if you can help us out. Okay. Cover can be easily moved. Okay? Tama? So, sa mga hindi po nakakaalam ng manhole, sa mga cities, meron kang mga sewers na tinatawag o mga kanal. Tapos yung mga kanal na yun, dahil natatabunan siya ng pavement, meron siya mga hukay to access those at ang tawag natin ay manhole. Yan. So, limbawa, ito yung kalsada, no? Yung purple. So, merong takip yan. Itong butas na to, yan yung manhole. So, bakit daw bilog yun? Yun ang tanong. So, imagine niyo ha, natanong po yan. May pinakamahirap na natanong siguro, what is the difference between the revised Penal Code of Chicago to that of New York? So, ibig sabihin, lumalabas po talaga pala ang mga ganong kahihirap na tanong. Yes. At pag hindi natin nasagot yon, yari. Sir, paano? Hindi ko talaga alam eh. Di ba? Hindi ko talaga alam, sir. Wala talaga akong alam. Bakit bilog yung manhole na yan? Anong pinagkaiba ng revised Penal Code ng Chicago sa New York? Ang bala natin dyan is, tell the examiner you don't know. Yes, allowed po tayo magsabi ng hindi mo alam. Tell the examiner that you don't know the answer to the question by saying something like this. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to your question. But, don't worry, when I get home, I'll do my research about it. Thank you. Yan. So maraming versions yan. Pwede mo sabihin na, unfortunately, my knowledge about the topic of why a manhole is round is insufficient at the moment. But since I'm very interested in the topic, when I get home today, I'll be researching about it. I'll be using my phone to know more about manhole covers and why are they round. Pwede mong sabihin yun sa examiner. Kasi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, di sa lahat ng pagkakataon, alam natin ang sagot. Tinetesting tayo ng examiner, paano ka magre-respond sa mga sitwasyon na wala ka talagang alam. Kasi remember, saying I don't know is part of communication process. So you have to let them know that you don't know. By saying it politely like this. So isa tong version nun, ha? Okay? So bakit daw mabilog? Okay, although tama si Ma'am Rhea, no? Madali po kasing hukayin yung circular hole. Ang hirap namang maghukay ng pa-heart. 'Di ba? Isipin mo, sobrang in love ka. Sabi mo, dahil in love ako, heart ang gagawin kong manhole. Ayan. Huhukayin ko, kordehan mo pa siya. Okay, pa-star. Diba? Ang hirap naman, star shape. Ang dami niyang spikes, baka matusok ka doon. No? So, yung circular po na hole, roughly, kasya yung midsection ng isang tao. At kapag yung cover niya ay ibang shape like triangle, kailangan mo pa siyang i-flip. Madali lang din i-move yung bilog kasi pagugulungin mo lang siya. At yung pinakahuli, yung supply. Most manhole covers are made by few large companies. A different shape would have to be custom made. So, ang problema lang naman natin, kaya ako ginamit ito, is because what if you stumble upon a question that it will be difficult for you to respond? Be honest. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question. But don't worry. After this exam is over and I get home, I'll be doing my research about it to know more about why the hole of a manhole is round. So lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo ha, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, puro I'm sorry. Like, what is your name? I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to your question. Kailangan mag-try ka rin naman. Okay? Ito yung mga sample questions ng part 3. Favorite part of a house when you were a child? Ano daw paborito mong part ng bahay nung bata ka? How did you feel when growing up at your home? Mode of transport you use in traveling? Public or private transport? Which do you prefer? Well, in terms of efficiency, public transport is definitely unmatched. But the main problem, especially in countries like the Philippines, is that most of our transport system is built centralizing with private ownership. So people who buy cars are after the comfort and stability that it provides, because public transport, that's where crimes happen. Sometimes there will be some robbery there. You may not know whether you can get to the place that you're planning to go to on time, since we don't know the proper schedule of the bus or the train. So, in terms of efficiency, I'm still a proponent of public transport system. But unless we can improve it, people will still choose private cars as much as I do. Diba? Ganun ang pagsagot. Tatanungin ka ng examiner, severe droughts or heavy rain? Diba? Matinding tagtuyot o malakas na ulan? Anong mas pipiliin mo? So, kailangan may reasoning. Diba? I will choose, if I can only pick one, severe droughts. Because there will be methods which scientists can use, our departments can utilize to convert salt water, to convert dirty water into potable ones. But heavy rains have devastated my country every year. Like, people get flooded, people die because of landslide, some massive storm surges, let's say in Tacloban City, in Leyte. Just recently, we were pestered by a very tragic storm in the northern area. People haven't recovered, and there's still another one coming up. So I don't think people would love heavy rains, another heavy rainfall due to storms. So severe drought would definitely be better in these two options. Sagot ko yun ha, bahala ka kung anong gusto mo. So ito po yung mga sample na tanong na pwede mong brainstorm sa bahay. Pag uwi mo, mamaya. Tanong pala, sir, pwede ba kaming mamili ng topic? Hindi. Random yan. Kaya nga, you have to be acquainted with every single possibility of what the topic could be about. Do we really need to talk for 2 minutes in task? So remember, yung 2 minutes, this is the time you need to cover all 4 bullet points. If the examiner decided na gusto ko pa, magsa-hand gesture yan, magtatanong yan ng dalawang follow-up questions, you have to supply the answers as well. What if I really don't have the idea about the topic? Then be honest. Tell the examiner, they admire honesty. Okay? How long should I talk when I'm asked a question? As long as you can. Hanggat kaya mo, huwag kang lulubay. Magkwento ka, basta related pa rin sa topic. Kasi ang ayaw natin is, Kevin, what is your favorite shop? A favorite shop is Bench, specifically the one located in SM Mega Mall. SM Mega Mall is located in Mandaluyong City, where the National Center for Mental Health is also located. Ala kung pakialam kung nandun yung Center for Mental Health. Ang tanong ko, yung favorite shop. Dapat ang atake mo doon, anong tinitinda ng shop, bakit Bench, meron din namang pen shop at saka Guess, pare-parehas lang din naman sila ng tinitinda, bakit mas gusto mo siya? Yun dapat ang approach. Diba? Is accent required in the examination? Use neutral accent, which is under the International Phonetic Alphabet requirement. What if I didn't hear the question clearly? Ask for the examiner to repeat the question in a very polite manner. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear your question properly. Can you please repeat it? Sa madaling response, can you please repeat the question? Thank you. Kasi yung ibang examiners, nilalabuan talaga nila yung tanong. So what if wala talagang thought yung tanong, tapos nag-attempt kang sumagot, mali pala yung answer mo, you will be providing an improper response. So clarify the question first. Now you have to answer all the questions in the task card. if you want to pass, then you should answer all the questions in the task card. Because if you miss a bullet point, you only get 6. If you miss 2 bullet points, you get 5. If you miss 3 bullet points, you only get 4. That is going to be very crucial, no? Wala pa akong na-encounter na mas mababa sa 3. Ang pinakamababa ko na pong na-encounter na test taker is 3.5. At hindi po natin estudyante yon. Nag-take siya ng exam bago natin siya maging estudyante. So from 3.5, actually nagpa-picture ako sa kanya kasi nga sabi ko, kakaiba ka eh. Wala pa akong estudyante, wala pa akong nakilala na nakakuha ng 3.5 na ganyang kababa. So ibig sabihin nun, sir, mas madaling makakuha ng 9 kaysa makakuha ng mababa pa sa 4. Opo. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang target mo lang ay 4 o 4.5, congrats, welcome sa bansang pupuntahan mo. Okay? Pero again, we're not here just to get 4.5. We're here to get a band 7 or higher. As much as possible, if you can get a 9, which is kaya naman, aim for a 9.0. The perfect score. Grammar, vocab, fluency, pronunciation are important, but how you say it also matters. We have delivery, content, style, charisma, posture, gestures, and even maintaining eye contact. Remember, final reminder natin sa lahat, practice and pray. Alright, so we have our 10 participants who remain until the end. We have Ulysses, Jilen, Kurt, Lee, Mark, Melo, Michi, Natalie, and Rhea. I will be posting this version and another version which is much longer. Abutin ng 3.5 hours na version itong lecture ko na to. Plus, yung kompletong list ng mga questions na na-encounter na ng mga students natin. If you want to explore more questions na na-encounter ng mga students natin, don't forget to check them out on our Facebook group. Punta ka sa Facebook group, type #speaking. Lalabas po lahat ng mga speaking questions since 2016 pa. Yung mga naging estudyante ko before. So, explore them from part 1 to part 3. Ganun din, if you are already done with your exam, kindly let us know na, sir, tapos po ako mag-exam, pumasa na po ako. By the way, gusto ko lang pong i-share sana yung mga naging tanong sa akin. Ito po yung part 1, part 2, part 3. At itutulong naman po natin yun sa mga susunod na batch ng mga kaklase. Okay? So, questions po. Meron pa? Okay, kung wala na, that will be the end of our lecture for today. So, for mga nasa Zoom, si Ulysses, Jilen, Kurt, Lee, Mark, Melo, Michi, Natalie, and Rhea. Mag-on po tayo ng camera. Magpipicture muna tayo. Para ma-post natin sa group. Yan. Pwede po tayo mag-on ng camera. Maglalagay tayo sa, saan ba to? Dito pala. Gallery, immersive. Ilan ba to? 11, ano? So, kasya na siguro tayo dito. Diyan. So, we have Kurt, Melo, Jilen. Mark. What about you, Mark? Yan. What about Jilen? Teka, picture muna. Smile. Isa pa. Ibang pose naman. Ano mas maganda? Ito, parang mas okay ito. Yan! Ha? Okay, teka lang ha, pa-post ko lang muna itong